Well, the imperious Reds suffered a slight wobble last time out here at Cooper Stadium, but Adelaide United still extended their unbeaten run to a dozen games. Will it be unlucky 13? For Western United's sake, they will hope so. Otherwise, their faltering title defence could well be fatally derailed. Here's the team news. One change for the Reds. Carl Viet goes with Luki Jovanovic at the point of the attack in place of Hiroshi Ibasuki. That on the back of Jovanovic being named Young Player of the Month. Jay Barnett continues to keep Isaias on the bench. It's his third consecutive start. Craig Goodwin plays his 200th A-League men's match and goes in search of his 50th goal in the competition for the Reds. Nestori Irankunda again standing by to make an impact off the bench. What a month or so it's been for Joe Gauci. Socceroos debutant, a new extended contract signed just last week. He's been the star of A-League access all areas, but he'd love a clean sheet, just one in the last 13. It makes the Reds exciting to watch, but maybe he'd prefer a little less action. A couple of changes for Western United. Leo Lacroix is benched for the first time this season as John Aloisi recalls Tomoki Imai to partner Nikolai Topor-Stanley in the heart of the Green and Black's defence. Up front, Alexander Prijovic has recovered from the illness that saw him miss the defeat against the Central Coast Mariners. So Noah Botic reverts to the bench, a bench that also includes James Troisi, who's fit again after a month's absence, but not Alessandro Diamanti, who has a rib injury. Neil Kilkenny also still on the absentee list. So the final game of round 24. There are only a dozen matches to go of the regular season, and there is still the Premiership and a couple of final spots up for grabs. But Western United, Phil Moss, probably the rank underdogs here this afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Simon, and happy Greek Easter to all our viewers out there who are celebrating this weekend. But wonderful game on the cards this afternoon. Adelaide are just one of those irrepressible sides. You just love watching them. And Western United still plenty to play for. And I think they've given themselves a mountain too high to climb. Really interested to see the mentality of Western coming into this game, because it's not an easy place to come and win. You've got to get on the front foot. Keep an eye on him. Looks to be walking reasonably freely, but of course
that's the big key. Decent ball. Jovanovic invites Javi Lopez to join in with the attack. Clearing header from Topor-Stanley. Reloaded through Barnett, and now Kitto. Goodwin. And they back off Western, and the cross at the back post for Halloran. And it's right across the face. He believes that there was a touch from the Western United defender.
What a ball from Craig Goodwin. The tempting ball would have been just to throw it into the middle of that 6-yard box for someone to attack, but he spotted Halloran all on his own on that far post and delivered it with pinpoint accuracy. And Halloran nearly scored a wonderful goal.
Earlier on today, Sydney FC 4, Perth Glory 1 and Wellington 2, Brisbane 2. So Sydney now 3 points clear of the bottom 6. And it also means that mathematically Melbourne Victory can no longer make the finals. That's one question finally resolved. Bottom end of the ladder. Towns towards that far right hand side and hung up by Dorigo. Oh, and Jamie Young got in an awful tangle. He seemed to completely lose his bearings there. Under no pressure from any Adelaide player, most unlike him.
Well, it seemed a very innocuous ball from Dorigo, but he just lofts it and it's got plenty of spin on it. with a very slight breeze in the back of Jamie Young. Maybe the ball just drifted away from him unexpectedly. Just back to your point about Isuzu. It's one of those for a coach. Do you go with the physical presence to set the platform and bring the pace on second half? Or you go with the pace and be proactive from the off? Calvert went with Jovanovic seemingly for those reasons.
Oh, it might still pay off in this first half. Lopez sidestepping the challenge of Garuccio. Here's Craig Goodwin, danger for Western. But Jamie Young gets his body behind the shot, which was a little tame in the end. But a bit more promise for the Reds.
We're going to see some wonderful build-up here into the feet on the Harvey Norman replay of Goodwin. That last touch off his left foot just to get the space to put his right foot through it. Just wasn't far enough away from his body. You could see he was cramped and he had to dig that shot out from underneath him. You don't want to give Craig Goodwin too many opportunities like that, because we've seen him score plenty of times from that exact opportunity.
Here's Risdon at the other end, and back post lurking. Surely a goal for Connor Payne. He bundles it over the line, and Western United hit the front in the final minute of the first half. Connor Payne scores at Cooper Stadium for the third time in his career. It's his third of the current season, and their season stays alive for the moment.
What wonderful delivery on the Harvey Norman replay from Josh Risdon into the path of Prijovic, who knows exactly what he's doing with a cushioned left foot pass into the path of Connor Payne, who makes no mistake from point blank range. Gets the wrong side of Ben Wallen, and that is a wonderfully worked Western United goal. Look at that for delivery to the back post. Prijovic knows exactly what he needs to do. Connor Payne following it up and says thank you very much.
Which is less than a minute away. Prijovic gets another corner for Western United. A win today would take them level with Newcastle Jets, who are in 7th at the moment on 29 points. The goal difference between the two is tight. Sydney 3 points better off in 6th. That should be Gouch, just punches away. Good distance on it too. Wales was first to react, but it breaks here for Halloran, and the counter is on. It's just a fraction towards Imai, that release. And that is half-time, and rather subdued. Cooper Stadium greets that half-time whistle. Adelaide have had one or two little moments, but much two more besides. Craig Goodwin had one shot that went straight at Jamie Young. Then Halloran flashed one wide, but it's Connor Payne's goal in first half stoppage time that divides the two at the break. And Western United, who really have to win here today, are showing a bit of champion resolve, and they need to. Still plenty to come in this one though. And at the break, at Coopers, it's Adelaide United 0, Western United 1. Big 45 minutes coming up in the context of their season as well, if they're to stay alive in the race for the finals. Going okay at the moment, John Aloisi's side. And this first 15-minute period of second half might be instructive. It's been a period of the game, Phil Moss, when the Reds have been at their most vulnerable this season, conceding 13 goals. As Alex King issues a yellow card to Josh Risdon for that challenge on Ryan Kitto. It's the first one of the game, and that will leave him having to watch his step up against Craig Goodwin, which we talked about being one of the key battles at the start of the game.
He certainly hasn't been backwards in coming forwards, Josh Risdon, this afternoon, but Adelaide will be wanting to put that statistic you just mentioned, Simon, in the rubbish bin, because if they were to go 2-0 down, they've got a hill to climb as it stands. That'll become a mountain. We've got a side fighting for their season in Western United and a side fighting for a top 2 finish. Who wants it more? We'll find out over the next 45 minutes plus injury time.
Punched out wide by Garuccio, but Kitto was there for the Reds. Isaias. Back by Dorigo. So important for Western that they get 3 points today. They got 2 tough games to finish. Melbourne City at home on the 22nd of April, then a trip to Perth last round of the season. Here's Ibasuki. Goodwin, Adelaide threatening. Goodwin, and then jabbed towards goal by Yule, blocked by Lustica. Goodwin again. Dorigo, top of the box. Nobody went with him for Western, but he can't hit the target.
Picked out beautifully on the edge of the box, Dorigo. Just found himself in some space. It's that man there, Craig Goodwin, with such beautiful vision. You could see what Dorigo was trying to do, pick out that far top corner.
Quite in their exciting groove we've seen so often this season. They've turned the ball over. Lustica out towards Prijovic. Threads it through. Connor Payne. Oh, and that deflection, which is off Ben Warland, I fancy. It made it very awkward for Goucher, and it just evaded Lockie Wales. And the ooze from the players suggests just how close that was.
Well, the deflection on its own caused Joe Goucher to go down sharply to avert the danger, but gee, if it fell in the path of Lockie Wales, that would have been another problem altogether.
Wales after this one, but Warland hooks it forward. Got it back by Goodwin. Now Yule. Halloran. Turned into trouble.
Here's that replay.
It's off Isaias, in fact.
Isaias, that's right.
Oh, Lockie Barr's got in a bit of a mess here. Sorts it out in the end. I'd sort that out, but didn't look the prettiest, did it?
Unconventional is the word that was coming to mind. You can just see there's still a lack of intensity in what Adelaide are doing.
Kitto lifts it in. Oh, Halloran. Maybe just jumped a fraction early. Couldn't get the direction, but that's 3 chances they've created in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. All of them ending up off target.
And I'm not sure he needed to leave the ground. The trajectory was quite low. It certainly did leap very early. Yeah, it's just, I say they're lacking intensity. It's by their standards, of course. They're fashioning chances or half chances, moving the ball through the lines, but just not with the same pace and intensity and purpose as what we're used to seeing from Adelaide.
Dumbia, intelligent ball, releasing Lockie Wales. And Parias. And Lachlan Barr with the vital intervention for Adelaide United. Western were that close to having a 2-goal margin.
Gee, I'm half surprised Lockie Wales didn't pull the trigger here. He gets in behind. He spotted the run on the far post of Parias, and then he's got into a good area to have a strike. Lockie Barr had to have his wits about him.
Just a little slow, a bit too sloppy at the moment. Away goes Parias, lightning quick, and poured away by Goucher. Western really pushing their case for a second goal.
And here's Parias taking on Ryan Kitto, as we know he's so good at. And that's a really smart reflex save from Joe Goucher at his near post.
Well, 12 games unbeaten. It's been a long time since I've seen an Adelaide United under the pump the way they are. I mean, they're lucky to still only be down 1-0, notwithstanding they've had their own chances. but Western United are causing Adelaide United all sorts of problems. The defence is looking shaky. You know, if Western United get the next goal, Adelaide United's unbeaten run could well and truly be over.
Well, let's see what they can do with this attack. Space here for Goodwin, off the head of Imai. Halloran to reload. Isaias, still plenty in the box for the Reds. Isuzu! And Young poured it away at the near post. They're coming, the Reds.
Just starting to knock on the door, aren't they? In the last 5 minutes, great delivery from Isaias. Isuzu gets up so well, gets some good power on it. Comfortable save in the end for Jamie Young, a keeper of his quality. Just another little sign that Adelaide are starting to heed the advice of former star striker Bruce UTE to get themselves back in this game.
Good turn that by Yule. Isuzu all wrapped up by two defenders. Has to turn back towards his own goal. And we're into the final 10 minutes. It's a dangerous ball that from Gauchi. They've got away with it because of the foul by Troisi. Interested in the psychology of this Mossy as a coach. Is it better to get your bad little run of form out of the way before the finals, or do you want to keep pushing forward with the momentum?
I was never one to believe in the loss that you have to have, but certainly you'd rather have an off night tonight than in 3 or 4 weeks' time.
Still haven't lost this game, and here's Madana. Nobody there to apply the finishing touch for the Reds. And Goodwin can't keep the ball alive.
Well, Isuzu played his part. He made a darting run to that near post, and the cross evades him. As we see Madana getting forward, just couldn't get there in time. But it was the lack of willingness from other runners to bust their backside to get on the end of that cross. It's a worrying sign, but probably symptomatic of their performance tonight.
Again, Western happy to try and slow the game down. Without a clean sheet in their last 10 matches. Isuzu's touch, Iran Kunda! Is this the moment? No, Jamie Young! Unbelievable! Western stand tall once again in the face of Adelaide United pressure.
Jamie Young stands strong. What a big, big save that was in the context of Western United's season. Potentially, if they go on and win this game, they've got their custodian, their experienced custodian to thank. That is a huge save.
Still time for the Reds. Isuzu wide again. And the chances are starting to tot up for Adelaide United. Kito's ball in for that previous chance. Iran Kunda got rid of the defender but couldn't find a way past Jamie Young, who celebrates like he's just scored at the other end. Big save.
Oh, the Harvey Norman replay shows the youngster Iran Kunda did everything right. And there's that last chance to Isuzu from the cross of Craig Goodwin. I was just going to say, it's always mind-boggling that it takes to be 1-0 down with a few minutes to go for the intensity and the urgency to rise. You've got so much to play for.
Well, you could sense from that previous free kick that Isaias took far too hurriedly. Just how anxious Adelaide have become. Desperate to keep hold of this unbeaten streak. They've huffed and puffed in the second half.
See the lack of movement there from Adelaide. Everyone looking at the ball.
Wallen's cross. Kunda can't reach it. They'll drop here for Madana. Another corner off Garuccio. Craig Goodwin sprints across. The occasion of his 200th A-League men's appearance. to take the corner. Macca and Dumbia, the tall timber at the near post for Western. It's in that area. Here's Johnny Yule, and again, that's 3 now. Over the top of the bar.
Well, he's certainly getting himself into those good areas. I'm not sure why he needed to take a touch there. I thought he could have put his laces through that first time. The ball was sitting up nicely. As soon as he takes that touch, it allows Topo Stanley to put some pressure on him.
The crowd urging Adelaide forwards. The last right's about to be administered, perhaps, on their long unbeaten run, the last minute of the game. Here's Kitto looking for Ibasuki, but not finding him. Need some quality here from Goodwin. And it comes up in the air by Garuccio, away by Dumbia. And Troisi puts it out of harm's way. How many minutes to be added on is the next question. Melbourne City moments away from being crowned premiers for the 3rd year in a row.
And should that happen, Simon?
7 minutes to be added on. That's a fair chunk.
That is. Adelaide will be celebrating that. Western not so much, but should Melbourne City wrap up the minor premiership tonight, as we see the 4th official put the 7 minutes up, you couldn't begrudge them that. They've done ever so well the last few seasons, and dealing with the transition between Kisnorbo and Rado Vidicic this season, to still win that minor premiership is no mean feat.
Yep, echoed that. Top throughout the season as well. Goodwin's corner, off the post. They just cannot score. Lockie Barr, can't believe it. Western hanging on. Back come the Reds. Goodwin. Another cross, dealt with this time by Lacroix. Well, a touch of good fortune for Western United, but perhaps their defensive display has earned that. Ben Garuccio almost playing on one leg. Some tired bodies out there, and that's a tired pass as well.
Well, what about this from Lockie Barr? Up like a salmon, as they say. Did everything right technically. Look at that wonderful camera angle. And it's only the woodwork that prevents Adelaide going equal.
Lockie Barr down the line for Iran Kunda. It's got to come quick if it's coming at all. And that is full time. They huffed, they puffed, they threw the kitchen sink at Jamie Young and Western United Adelaide in that second half. But the green and black hang on. It's unlucky 13 for Adelaide United. Their 12-match unbeaten run is over. 3 crucial points for the visitors. Adelaide United 0, Western United 1.